Hello there. In this video, I want to walk you through how to build a website in Kajabi. Now, I've been using Kajabi for over 7 years, but I've downloaded a fresh install to demonstrate exactly what this will look like for you. In fact, this is part of a playlist. If you haven't been watching the previous videos, you'll see that we've worked right from the top and we're working our way through all the sections of Kajabi. So be sure to check out those other videos. And if you don't have Kajabi yet, you're just doing your research first, I'd love to offer you an extended free trial. Instead of the 14 days that Kajabi give you, I can give you 30 days trial. And as a thank you for using our affiliate link, you'll get our 28-day Kajabi Kickstart Challenge, where you'll get to build out and sell your first mini course and use a free lead magnet to grow your email list. You'll be amazed at how simple it is to set all this up, and we've seen so many of our customers making sales before the end of that trial. And because we're committed to your success, every affiliate of ours is invited into our Kajabi Academy, where we'll support you in our community, including bi-weekly support calls by me. If you stay on past the trial, we'll continue to support you totally free for as long as you're on Kajabi. You'll find a link to the Kajabi Kickstart below with more information about that. Now, I don't know whether you're starting from scratch or you're wanting to copy a design from an existing site, but my hope is that by the end, you're going to see what is possible here inside of Kajabi. So we're going to jump into the navigation, and as I say, we're working down this left side, so we're jumping in where it says website. And if we click the little arrow down, you'll see that there's design, website pages, landing pages, navigation, which is header and footer, and blog. And we're going to cover all of these sections in individual videos. So we're hopefully building out a playlist that's easy for you to jump in and out of specific videos. So for this video, we're going to click on design up here. And it tells us to pick a template to get started. This is why I wanted to do a fresh install and see exactly what you're going to be seeing. So it's prompting us in here to pick a template. And we'll click on this, and what you'll see is, although it's called the template store, these are free templates in here. We've got some great options to get started with. So you can see though, just a little, you can scroll on that left side and it'll show you what that looks like. If you like the idea of it, you can pull it in. All quite different in their style. Don't be looking particularly at the images. You can replace every part of this. It's more, do you like this idea of a large image with text over the top, the little 3 sections? I actually quite like this one, Prosper. Nice image at the top, text there, call to action. Where would you like to start? We've got 3 options. We've got a challenge in here. So I think this is a really nice starting point for me. So I'm going to click Get Started. This is now going to bring this template in, and we can start working through this and customizing it. Now, I do just want to point out a fairly new feature in Kajabi. If I come back to these templates over here, it says at the top here, get even more inspired with custom templates from the template marketplace. Now, these are ones that you would pay for, but this has been opened up fairly recently that different creators can actually create their own templates and put them up here. And as you'll see, I mean, they range in price. Look, we've got $700 one here. We've got a lot that come way down from that. $129 down here for a theme. But you get the idea. When you click on these, you'll see that it says it's a 16-page website theme. You get to look at how this looks, what the pages are on here. And I think on most of them, yeah, you can actually go and preview it if you want to, and it will let you see what this is. And then you'll be changing your elements around inside of here. So yeah, we're going to get started with something fairly simple, but you can come back at any point to these and reapply a template over the top of what you've done. So all of your content would stay the same. It would just have a new face on it. So let's just come back into our design. We've started one off here with Prosper. And it'll come into here, and on the front here, it prompts us now to customize the page, or we can click up here to customize it as well. And in we come. So I want to walk you around this navigation really and let you see how all of these elements are built out. So whether you are starting from scratch and you're thinking, yeah, I could fit something to that, or whether you're trying to match in with what you've already got, I'm hoping you're going to see how powerful this is. And we're talking not just about your homepage here. So when we look at the top here, we've got your library, we've got your blog post. So actually, yeah, it's very powerful, the elements you go to, your thank you page, your login page. Let's just jump in onto 1 or 2 of these. So this is when somebody purchases from you. This is the page they're going to come back to. So this is really nice. And you'll see as we move over any of these elements, it's all completely editable. A 404 page. So this is when somebody gets a link wrong. Page not found, back to home. This is really nice. There are some really fun versions what people do of 404 pages. If we've got time at the end, I'll show you some of those. If you have a store area. So I'm going to not take you into all of these because what I'm going to teach you from the home page will apply to all these others, but you'll see that you can just jump around in here and edit these sections, these pages individually. And also let me just point out at the top here that we're looking at the website design. There's tablet in landscape and portrait and mobile. So when I click on this, I can now see what this looks like if somebody were to view this on a mobile. And what you'll discover is we can actually hide areas from a mobile that are in there on the desktop version. Maybe you think there's too many images or it's too wordy. Well, we can actually remove sections out as we go. Really powerful. And the beauty of these templates is you can look at an area and think, yeah, I like that. I could see this being on my homepage, these testimonials, and we can click on these and we can find out where they are and dissect it really. Right, let's come back to a home. Let's start up here. So what have we got here? On the right side of the page is your preview. This is your actual site that you're working on then. And down the left are all the sections. What you'll discover is this is all built up with rows going across. So this top area here, when I click in it, and you don't need to navigate from this side because whenever I click up here, it will take me into this section. So notice when we were back here, this top section said hero. Now if I click here, it's going to automatically take me in. And it tells me up here that there's text. And look, so I could either have clicked it here, so I can't retype over it there. I would come over to this side and I would change the text around here and it will apply on this side. So we've got text on the left there. We've deliberately designed to fit around this image in the background. So what we're talking about really are sections and then blocks within it. So these are blocks, if you like, that are within the sections here. So this hero section has a text block in there, nothing else there when I move the cursor around. Now at the top here, when I click on this, tells me that this is actually the header, and you can see that those lines are just pointing that out. And so I can edit the header up here if I want to. So I could just click normal on this and it's now turned it into a standard header. We could change this header text around, and then whatever we put at the top here, when we've got a logo at the minute, we could bring our menu in. Now I'm actually going to come to headers and footers in another video, so I don't really want to spend any time in that. I'm going to come back. I just want to refresh this actually so it just takes that out because I did like this transparent top that is up here. So we've got a hero section here that in this case has just got a text. We could add more content to this. And the way this works for spacing is we're looking at 12 columns across the page width. So if I change this text at the minute, it is set to 6 of 12 columns. So that's why that box there is only covering half the screen. If I told it to go to 12, that text is now coming all the way across. If I put that back to 6 and I decide that rather than having it on the left side here, I want it in the center, I could come into desktop layout and I could say that my text is firstly center aligned within this block. And then if I come out a section into the actual hero area and I say in here that I want it aligned in the center, then now you can see that maybe with a different image in the background, this could be a better way to start. If you do something on here and decide you've changed your mind, Command Z will just take you back and take you back again. So we're back to where we started because I actually quite like this design. So does this make sense? So this is your hero section up here, and at the minute we've just got text in it. Now I think what might be interesting to show you, so as I work down the page, these are the sections we've got, and when I want to add something new, I click add section. And let me just walk you through all the options that you've got down here. So you could just add in a text section, and it's going to show me here as a preview what all of these are. So we'll use this a lot. This is, as it says there, a text section in there, 2 columns of text if you want to be able to do this, 3 columns of text, text in a panel. So we've got an image behind it and then text sitting here. Call to action is our button, a link list, form and text. So if you like it laid out like this, so this is going to be a click to sign up, register for a freebie maybe, or to register to an event. So they're kind of your basic ones. And then heroes. So a hero is what we've got at the top of this page. It just is a little bit smarter in that when I click on here, it puts a nice image in the background and we've got some text over the front of it. We could have a hero countdown. So we've got text over here and then there's a countdown to an event. We could put a form in with an image, text with an image, with audio, with a video clip. So lots of options for how this header at the top of your page, not header, don't get me confused, the header's the navigation. Right at the top of your page, this hero section, you've got a lot of combinations that you could use there. Then as we move down, we've got columns. I think we see this on this page, or it might be in the about page. So we could bring an image, we could feature. So when we're saying maybe these are the 3 ways you can get started with us, we can do that with 2 cards. We can do it with columns and yeah, multiples. In fairness, when you add these, you can add extra columns in anyway, and it will squash them up. Carousel slider. So if you wanted to have images that were scrolling through, you have opt-in forms down here. So this would be a way to sign people up. Inline opt-in form here, an event countdown, a multi-video launch. We've used these on pages on their own when you want to bring somebody to a 4-part video series or a 3-part video series. You can do it straight in here without any extra plugins or anything. Assessments you can do, so surveys if you want to ask people. We've just got image sections, text and image gallery, and again you can just keep multiplying these up and it will keep pushing that down. Audio and text, video, have a section there, text and video, a video gallery, so if you've got multiple videos, maybe testimonials, and then embedded ones if you've got YouTube that you want to bring them in from or somewhere else. Okay. Offers, you can see down here that we can add an offer in this. This would be a click to buy. We can have an offer storefront in here. Pricing cards, this kind of thing that shows people which one they can buy. And actually you can put on here like most popular and things on a certain one, or pricing options here. And then you can add the text at the side of it. So really powerful. I'm just trying to quickly fly over this and let you see. Accordion for an FAQ or in a different layout. Testimonials. You can have, again, multiple on a page. Just bringing in the name. You'd put a little image in there and then the actual testimonial. Pulling in from your blog post if you want to feed in blogs. And then custom at the bottom here. So you can actually put custom code in here. So if you know what you're doing with code, you can drop some code into this, pulling from another site or whatever else you're doing. Yeah. So they're all your options, and I want you to quickly see it, and then we're going to go back through this. Right, so let's just hero at the top then. So we could have changed this around as you've just saw those options, put in images, videos and things, but this looks really nice at the top of the page. Then we've got this, this one here says social proof logos, and you can rename any of these. So when you bring it in and it just says hero, you can reword it to say whatever you want. So we can click on these logos and featured in. So this is typed, and then this is actually an image that's been brought in. We come down to this next section. So I click in here first and it says getting started. So this has been named. And can you see how this works? So we've got text at the top. So when I click text, that's this part here. And then below that, we've got 1, 2, 3. So if I just click back, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3 features, and that's going to complete this section. As I move my cursor, you can see that it's showing me there. So you can start to see how this is built. Text at the top, 1, 2, 3 featured sections below it. And you can just jump into here, change this text around, change what text you want on your call to action button, or not even have a call to action button if you don't want to. Change the text over the top, put a URL as to where that's going to go to, or if it's going to another landing page or to a checkout or something on your site, you can put that in there as well. You can also see that there's a little line around this as well. I can go into the background here and I can choose a border type. So I can change this around. I could have no border at all. So you can see on the page here, we've now lost that border. And again, you can learn from these templates, even if you don't plan to use it. So that's a 2 pixel border there. I could take that right up to a 10 pixel border or more. I can choose the border color. So you could really change this around. I'm not going to. I'm going to do Command Z. Let's take this back. So that's the border width, border radius. If we like the idea of rounding off the corners on that box, that can look quite smart. And box shadow. Do we want to have a little shadow underneath it? I think just brings it out the page, lets it stand out a bit. That looks really nice on there. So these are all features. We were in this background section going into this. So that within that one element there, I can change these settings around. Now on the desktop layout as well, remember I said earlier on that you could have elements visible on desktop or mobile. So I could actually say, it wouldn't make sense here, but hide this block on desktop, but it would be available on mobile. And I can do the same thing if I was coming down to the mobile layout, and I could say hide this block on mobile if I wanted to. And notice in here then that in this desktop layout, I can choose my text alignment. So this overrules the text box higher up. So I can go into here and change it. And I've got spacing around this. Now we're just purely talking about this one box here with this quote about earning money. And look, I can change this if I take this right down to 0. So the spacing, so now my little icon sits right up at the top. So let's put 30 back in there to just put that padding around inside. And there is also outside padding as well. So this is set to 0 at the minute, but if I wanted to push the thing to the left, I could say 50 there, and it would now create a 50 pixels extra pushing mine that way. Making it flush, we'll just remove that padding altogether. Place this block on its own row. So where at the minute, again, we looked earlier at this idea that you're talking about columns. And so we've got, these are 3 each wide. So that's why it's brought them slightly in. We could actually go, these could go to 4 wide. So if I click that one, oops, that one and that one. So they will now fit. That's kind of the maximum of the page. They'll go to that width. One of them could be smaller. Not that you'd want to do this. So Graham, let me pull those back. It's very educational just having a look through somebody else's template like this to break it down and see how they've actually done this. So because each of these blocks is only 3 columns wide, it won't put it on its own row. It'll group them up until it fills it, and then it will push on to the next row. So if I wanted to have this on its own row, I could say down here, place this block on its own row. Now it sits up here on its own. So again, this is how you can do some design changes on the site. But that's looking nice. I know I've just changed that to rounded, and I should pull it back, but not to worry. Now, so I can just come back on the left here, and again, so we're kind of coming out in stages. So this was called Getting Started. We've now got Lead Magnet. So I can click it there, or I can click it in this section, and it tells me that there's image under text. And you can see that on here. So we've got image on the left, text on the right. So I can select and I can upload a new file into here. I can adjust the width of it, although I'm doing it over here. So if I make this 4, then I can push that one to be wider. Again, we could do a radius and we could round off those edges. It wouldn't look right in this case where it changes to green on the opposite side. And again, same kind of features. It's all hopefully getting familiar. You've got this spacing and padding around it, alignment, and could place it on its own row if you wanted to force it to do that. So columns, this is 5 wide, and it looks like this is 5 wide as well. And then I come into do this side of it here. If you wanted to see this text as the source code, if you're used to writing that way, you could have a look at that. Now you might think there's not a lot of space in here to actually write. You can pop full screen and it'll come out to work like this, and you can click again. Or another nice feature that I like is you can just pull this to the side and you can just quite quickly on the fly change that over, set it up, and then push it back so you're seeing more of the width over here. This you would then be, so it's taking a challenge, we would click here. So we're within this text section. This is a call to action, and it says open 2-step opt-in. We'll have a look at that, but this is then using a form. We've covered forms already. We've got our call to action. When they click on this, so this is the text that you write in over the top, and it says open a 2-step opt-in pop-up. Let's just have a quick look at that. So if we come back and back. So we're right out at our page here. It says down here about a 2-step opt-in. So rather than having the form there on the page that somebody's going to put their name and email in, this is a 2-step opt-in. And so when we click on this and it says edit 2-step pop-up, this at the minute is the option that we've got. Now we haven't got a form set up. We could add an image into this and we could change the order of these around. So if this has just come from taking this test, I think it was saying, we could put the image back in here of it, and then we would have a block here for some text, join the free challenge. So this doesn't seem to be showing up because it seems to have the text the same color as the background, I think. And the button says join now. Again, I think we need to bring some color into this. Now this seems, let me just have a look at this. Layout settings, pop-up background color. We really need a color on this. So there we go. Now we're seeing the text underneath. That text shouldn't have come white on white like that. But let's come back. So we could add an image in if we wanted to, and then we come into the form and we can change this wording around. We would then click to link a form, which we don't have yet. Although, yes, we do have. We created one before that was in a previous video in this series. About our virtual video editor waitlist. So now it's brought that in, and because in the form we've got a name and an email, it's pulling it in, and we probably should change the color of that button now. It's not standing out very good. So button, maybe that. Okay. So this will be when somebody clicks. So this is your 2-step opt-in. Let's just come back. You do need to untick it when you've edited it, and we hit save. And if I were to just preview this, let's have a look at what the site is doing so far. So this was under here, yes, count me in. We click on this, and now this is what happens. Our pop-up comes in, name, email, join now, and either send them to another page, depends how you've set it up within there, or it might download something as soon as they put their email in. So that's this form. We've had a quick look at exit pop-ups as well. Then what does it say? So that's our lead magnet blog post. So we've called this latest from the blog. This isn't pulling anything in. We haven't actually got to the blog post yet. That's a couple of videos down, and that will be pulling in here post number 1. So when we're creating our blog post, it'll be pulling in the videos from there automatically for us. Notice as well the nice design that's going on here. It's very clean and minimal. We've got just a very subtle change from white to this light grey. And then again, back here, it comes into this light grey again. So it's not any strong contrast, but really nice and simple as well. You've really just gone, I think it's just this green, isn't it? So it's white, light grey, black and green. This down here, are you seeing this one now? Is it starting to make sense? So we've got text and image, hopefully, about. Yeah, text, image, okay, and then these 3 featured ones are in the same section. They're following underneath. And within that text area, it's asked us, is there a call to action? That's how we put the button in. So again, you could be resizing this if you wanted to push that wider and see what happened, because this was 6 and this was 6. That's now pushed us over the 12. If I made the image 5, it would mean that the text could go to 7. So you're just playing with that number that it divides by 12. We could do the same the other way, and we could take the image, the text smaller, and we could then increase the size of the image. So in any of these sections here, we could come into that background and we could change the background color to something completely different as we're scrolling. Yeah. So you'd have brand colors. You can just drop them in here. You'll be able to slide in your own hexaref code there. I'm just going to come back. So this is actually using featured posts. That's an image that's been brought in at the top. It's all aligned to the left. That's our text, and then we've got the name at the bottom. Now we're down here and we've got online courses. So within this course section, text, that's referring to this block at the top. Then we've got an image and a feature. Image, feature, image, feature, and so on. That's what's going on here. Really nice. And then there's a sign up for the newsletter at the bottom. And again, it's asking us to select a form. So this would be an inline form rather than it sending us off to a pop-up. So again, let's click on default form in here. and it's brought it in this way. So now we've got name, email, and sign up. So you're seeing the two different ways. This is on a single, let's just refresh that. So this one up here was a pop-up form. This one down here, you're actually putting your name and your email and signing up without the pop-up. So hopefully that's a good little walk through these sections on here. It's so powerful, so many options that you've got to be able to build this. So navigation at the top, hero section, and then really you can pull in any section you want to add into this and fill it out, design it however you want. If you don't like it, all you do is, if we added a section in at the bottom, a 3-column text, and then I hit add to actually bring it in. I can, once it's in here, maybe I wanted this 3 columns right at the top there under hero, so I would drag it up to there and I start working on it, and then I think, no, I don't like it actually. I've got options to either hide it or delete it. So we've just hidden that, but it's still there. I maybe be able to bring that back at a later stage. And actually I can duplicate these as well, which can become quite handy. Certainly when you're making elements like this, there isn't a copy and paste feature. So I've rounded this off and put shadows. I can't copy and paste that across, unfortunately. What I would do is create this first one, and then I would duplicate it. So this feature here, if I duplicate that, it's put it at the end, but it's now created, let's pull that back up to the second place. It's now created a duplicate of it. So that's the way I would come at this. And as I say, to me, it makes sense to really name things up so that when you're working back through afterwards, you're not having to hover over and guess which things are, because actually you've already written it in here. So there we are, back to our 3. Constantly keep saving it. Hit preview. That's what I've got over here. It's letting me see exactly how this would come out. Or as you saw, if I want to have a look what it looks like on my phone, I can change it around over here. Very powerful. Now, we looked at this side under the sections. There's also footer that we'll come on to when we're looking at navigation. There is an exit pop-up as well as the 2-step opt-in. So an exit pop-up, if I click to edit it, we'll just create, kind of need some content in here. But this is where if you've been on sites and as you're leaving the page, as you're moving your cursor off the page, it'll say, oh, download this free thing, or sign up for this, or might even just be saying, thank you for visiting our site. But it will pop up there and you will have to click close on that. So you can go into this and edit one and then enable it, and you can put image, call to action. So this is the kind of thing you potentially would build out in here. Text, so let's put image, text, call to action. Let's again just give this a color. Maybe not black on black. Let's put it like that one maybe. Again, all the alignment options. And then you've also got settings for the exit pop-up. So you can set on here how many days. Actually, it's just showing me there. Look, don't show this pop-up for return visitors for this many days. So rather than if someone's potentially going to be coming back to this site every day for something, they don't want to keep getting this pop-up that they've got to cancel. So you could set that for 5 days, 10 days, or you can have a timed reveal. So rather than when they leave, it will actually pop up after so many seconds. Okay, then you need to tick to enable it if you want to use it, and then you need to click edit exit pop-up. I'm going to take it off because it's going to be annoying during these tutorial videos, but that's how you can add that one in. Now that's the section side of this. We haven't looked at the settings, and we are in the website at the minute, and one of the main differences between web pages and landing pages is firstly that the web pages are, these are your fixed pages that you've got attached to your website, but you can create web pages rather than landing pages. The difference will be that the settings that I apply here, the style guides, the design, will apply to every page on the website. The navigation and things, the colors that we've put on there, the fonts will really carry through as a template for all of them. When I create a landing page, that really is standalone, and I start from scratch and can design it up in a different way. We'll come in onto landing pages next. I'll explain more about what a landing page is and why we use them way more than we use web pages. This is really to build out this structure here. So a favicon, if you want to add a favicon, all this is meaning is if you're looking across the top of the screen here, these are favicons. This little picture of me that's up here, we've got a favicon dropped in, and it will tell you on here, I think, yeah, 32 by 32 PNG. So it's a tiny little image that you can put in, but it's a nice way to brand it. A style guide, so you can see on here very much that this green is the page background color. Primary colors, button background color, so any buttons that are in here are already pre-filled into this. So across the page, across the site, in this case, I could change this around to a different color, and when I save it, all the buttons on the website will change. I panicked then for a second. Even the style of them, that instead of solid could be outline, and the size of them by default will be medium coming in. This is going to look a right mess if I keep hacking it around like this, so I'm going to change this all back. Someone way better than me has designed this. And then fonts on here, we can change the fonts around. There's a decent selection of fonts in here. You can actually bring in custom fonts as well. We're not going to go into it in this video, but there are some great tutorials in Kajabi when if you sign up and have a go with this, if that's something that you need to be able to bring a custom font in, they can show you how to do that. But you're adjusting here across the website your body font, so the main text area that isn't a heading, and then the weight of it, the line heights, and then heading fonts as well. So when we were in these sections over here, if I just change this code back, that's the easiest place to see it. You can see that this is H4, this is heading, whereas this inside of P is body font. So it's a different font that we've got for the text in the body than it is for headings. Let me just come back to that. So we were in here, style guide. And again, I'm hoping it's coming through just the flexibility and the options that you've got in here. You can change the colors around for the headings, the body, secondary body, and then the individual sizings of the H1, 2, 3, and all of these. And then mobile font sizes as well. What does that look like when you're on a mobile rather than setting it up for the desktop? Design tools, you can have guides on here. So while you're working, it will put guides on the page for you. Just showing you now put all these lines around everything so that I can see them. And grids as well. Don't use the grids. It'll just put this background on here, so it potentially helps you visually line things up. I'm not a fan of that one so much. We'll take that off. Custom code. If you know code that you can drop into here, you can drop it in at this stage. So there's some that's been brought into this with this theme. Password recovery. So you can change these things around if you want to change the text that appears. Again, I don't really know why you would do this. I'd just leave it all as default. Comments and disable pages. So yeah, bearing in mind we're looking at your whole site here. So if I change a heading or colors and that there, it's going to carry through. So this button is still the same color, still the same sizes and font names and things over here. But I could on this one change this background image if I want to. So it's an image that's in here. I could select and choose another image. The other thing that you can do with these images on all of these when you've got an image in the background is notice that there is a color on here and it's semi-transparent. So if I took it up fully, then there is a black overlay over the front of it. If I took it all the way back, so that's what the image looks like without it. It just allows you to soften that down. You can still see there's an image behind, but it just makes it easier to read. Pretty cool, right? So you can have a go at that, go through, set up all these different pages. It's telling me there I was just about to jump page without saving what I'd done here. I'm okay with it actually, that I don't really need to save that. So go through, change all these pages up and have some fun with it. You really can't go far wrong. Something that we haven't seen and I don't think comes into this. Let me just have a look on the preview. Something that I quite like, just a bit next level really. In fact, I'm going to take this section out. We don't like this section that I dropped in. Let's delete that. Now, if you think of somebody scrolling up the page here, just for a bit of animation, what we can do is on these individual sections, there's animation here. So I can choose to fade, flip, or zoom. So maybe we do flip, And we'll leave it with no delay on at the minute. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. That one can flip. Let's have a look at them all at the same time. This one can fade up. This one over here, animation. What have we done? A fade, a flip. Well, let's do a zoom. And I think left. So if we pull this back and refresh it, hasn't refreshed because that shouldn't be there. There it is. Right, so we're looking at these 3 boxes below. We should have put a delay on. Right, hang on. So we'll stick with this one. Honestly, it's worth it. Just building the suspense. Animation, we're going to say half a second. And the duration, we'll call it 1 second. Half a second. 1 second. This flip one, didn't seem to see that happening. Let's go there, and we'll also go half a second and 1 second duration. Save that. We'll re-preview it. And actually, because so what would happen normally if it were below the fold, then as we scroll down, see the different animations just taking place. So this one is just doing this flip. The middle one is coming up from the bottom, or it's doing a fade up from the bottom. And the right one is just doing a zoom in from the side. I mean, you wouldn't normally do that and change them all different ways, but I do quite like that flip. We'll do the same thing, flip right. They should all look the same now. And so, yeah, they could all just appear like this. And you see that there's a little bit of a delay there. If you wanted that sooner, you could set it back to instant and not having a delay. You could do the same thing up here, and maybe the call to action right at the top, that when someone lands on your page, that appears after half a second. So they're a bit next level, really. I think build it out first. But if you look at it and think, if I could just put a little bit of animation in this to make it a bit more fun, you can do that. Now, I was just going to show you with these images in the background. There are different ways of using these images. So this one is standard moving with this. But if I click on this image and I choose background, so we've got our background image. It's aligned to the top. So because it's going to crop depending on how this page moves, that's saying that it'll lock the top rather than anywhere else. I can choose this fixed background image. And look what happens. So this parallax kind of view, if you've seen these sections sometimes when it moves up, but the background image stays and you think, hey, that looks really cool. Well, that's how we do that. We just tick fixed background image. We could also have a video clip in here. And I was just going to show you a site that gives you free videos and photos called Pexels. There are lots of sites, even Canva and places like that have got all this built into them. But you can bring into here video clips, or download for free rather from here video clips. And you can just hover over this and it could play something in the background. I just grabbed one a minute ago. If I can find it, upload a new file. You can drop that onto here. So we do need to change this. So background media type, we're going for video, not image. Haven't tested this, so telling me it's ready. Why am I not seeing it? Save. There we go. So that again could look really dramatic. Does it let me? No, I didn't think so. So if you've got something there that could fit that background, again, you heard me saying it, we played with it earlier. This text could sit in the center rather than to the side here. But that might be quite nice just to have a little video clip that looped at the top, or at any point. This isn't just at the top. We're just playing with sections. Hopefully you're seeing here, we could move these things around, and this could be at any point on the website that you have a section like this. So good. Okay, so that was pexels.com. You can head over there and have a look at these and just download any of these kind of Office desk. I think I probably put something like this in. Okay, again, rather next level really. You're better to just get this thing built and have less rather than more to start with. You can always come back to this and play with it and build it up later on. But hopefully that's a pretty complete walkthrough. What I'm hoping that you'll take away from this video is that Kajabi are offering us here a really customizable web page builder. I reckon this matches most of the sites that you would go to, and to have this built into Kajabi where you're going to create your courses, send out your emails, take your payments, everything else all in one place is just so powerful. But I don't see that you need to be hosting a website anywhere else, which means you can save on those costs, and it can all be managed here inside of Kajabi. And you will find that the support is fantastic. There's a lovely community around it as well. And if you are just checking out at this stage and you haven't actually signed up yet, we really would love it if you came through our affiliate link, where we can, as I said at the start, get you a 30-day trial, and we would give you that 28-day kickstart challenge and bring you into our community where I can get on a Zoom call with you every other week. And we'll stay with you for as long as you're on Kajabi. Now, this video is part of our Kajabi setup playlist here on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe so that you can get all of those future videos, because we're dripping them out. And we're going to head over now and have a look at building a landing page. It's very similar to this, but there are some key distinctions. So we're going to head over to that video next. Or if you'd rather jump into headers and footers and don't need a landing page, well, there's a video down here. You can jump over and watch that one. Happy learning.